Hello internets! Today we're going to do some more work on our custom Dunny keychain. As you can see, I've taken some temporary marker and marked out what I want to do with them. Right? So I've decided I want to cut out the mouth, insert a little gem into his belly, and attach some eyes to the top of his antenna here. I'm going to turn him into a little troll-like alien creature. So first, I'm going to drill a little hole in his navel where I marked out so that I can inset this little gem here. Okay? To do that, I'm going to use my hand drill. It's just a hobby drill you can get from any hobby shop. It's a little hand press drill. Right? So I'm going to take it, put it on there, and drill like so. And don't have to go too deep, I don't think. You know, the good thing about the hobby drill is, it doesn't go too fast, so you can get a nice shallow hole, right? This minimizes the risk of going too deep, too fast, and it's always better to take away too little than too much, because you can always take away a little more, but putting back what you've already taken away is a little bit more of a challenge. Yeah, just drill into it like so. Let's see how good it fits. Not quite yet, as you can see. But it is getting there. The more pressure you put down, the deeper it will dig in. The less pressure, the lighter it will dig in. Oh. Looks like the body might have a little hollow cavity inside there. I wasn't sure with this one. I've never done one this size. Okay, as you can see, it's almost. Now all I got to do, I think, is widen the top part of the hole. So, widen it. Use my cutting knife. I'm just going to go around the edge, just slice a little diagonal. Careful once again not to take too much off. Okay. We're getting really close now. Really close. Almost where I want it to be. A little more. All right. Almost perfect. Now I just gotta do the tricky part is the top because I can't take the head off. So I gotta cut in there. You can see how easy it is to cut even without heating it up. Just a little more. So. All right. That is perfect. Okay. Isn't that awesome? Now, I'm going to glue that in, but not quite yet. All right, so I'll just set that aside for now. Next, I want to try to cut out his mouth. Don't know if his head is hollow or solid. There was a tiny little hollow cavity in his chest, it seems, but not really. Yeah, so we'll see if there's any airspace in his head or not. Usually I do this with the 3-inch ones, or the 5-inch, and they are hollow. This one, I'm not sure. As you can see here, I got my hair dryer. Okay, I just put it on the hottest setting, on high. It's nice and hot. I'm blowing everything away. Do this. It's hot on my hand. But it doesn't have to be very long. It's probably more than enough there. And let's cut into it and see what we find. Yeah, you can also use a heat gun if you have a heat gun. Just, keep it on its lower setting though. Higher setting for the hair dryer, low setting for the heat gun. And when you notice it's getting hard to cut, then you just want to heat it up again. Oh, there we go. Getting the slice out. Alright, so as you can see on this guy, his head isn't hollow. Or it might be, but if it is, it's thicker, way thicker than the usual. Some more cutting. For this job, I don't really feel like the need to heat it up anymore. Just getting the initial cut in was more than enough for the hairdryer. For bigger pieces, I would need to heat it up again and again, as I'm like cutting out a larger section. But for something this tiny, alright, now I've got the mouth. No mouth. I want to sand it down a bit with some fine grade sandpaper so it's not all rough. Get rid of the tool marks. You know what? I feel like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Thinking about putting the hole down, his throat, but that's a little overkill. I'll just leave it as that. That's good. Now, I want to attach the eyes. The eyes, I'm gonna do something a little different. Going to make use of the traditional googly eyes, the arts and crafts standard. since it's such a tiny little piece, I don't feel like sculpting tiny little eyes, so I'm going to take the easy method and use those. Now I'm going to take some Neatite, right? Blue yellow epoxy. This stuff here. I'm only going to need a tiny bit of it. Very small bit. Now with Neatite, you mix the blue and yellow and it turns green. And you get like an indestructible, what's it called? Epoxy. That bonds, fills, and seals. Now the trick with this stuff is you gotta chop out the middle piece here, where the yellow and blue meet, right? It's already hard right there in that little bit. So if you don't cut that out, you're gonna end up with a lump that you can't get rid of. So just take that little part in the middle out, like so, and just throw it away. So now you got the blue and the yellow, and you mix them up. Right. I'll pause the video for a sec, and we'll come back when the Neatite's mixed. And we're back, and as you can see, it is now green. Took a couple minutes, but there you go. A Neatite will go a couple hours and still be workable. Just to make sure, have this water here, and just put the extra in the water. That way, you know, it won't dry out. Also, wetting your fingers and the tools that you use help prevent them from sticking to the Neatite itself. Okay. So now I'm going to take just a tiny, tiny little amount of Neatite and put it on the back. And need a tiny bit more than that. There we go. So I've got the back of the eye covered with Neatite. And I put it where I want and I press in. Wet my fingers a bit. I'm going to shape the Neatite that is poking out around the edges to make it look like his eyelids, or his eye sockets. Ta-da! I do the other eye. And I kind of want to do some eyelids. See, a bit. Okay. Got one. For the other. Now, this kneadite takes 24 hours to fully cure. Once it's cured, you can sand it, you can drill into it, you can paint it. You can basically do whatever you want. It's awesome stuff. Yeah. There we go. Now he's all dopey-eyed. Now that I have all that done, I feel safe to glue in his jewel. Using some Instacure jewel. Just drop it in. Oh, its eye came off. Press that down. And there we go. Now once the epoxy is cured and the glue is all dried, he'll be ready for priming. Right? In order to prime, first I'm going to have to mask the areas that I don't want covered, right? So the jewel and the googly parts of the eyes that are showing. So I use sticky tack for that, right? You can just put it on, peel it off after, and it can take the shape of whatever you put it on. So it works a lot easier than tape, right? So I'll use that to mask the areas that I don't want the paint on, and then I will use some white primer. Right? I got Army Painter primer. Any primer will do. This is just the brand I go with, right? And yeah, once it's primed, you can paint it however you like. And if you're asking why did I put this stuff on before I primed it, well, because it sticks better this way, right? Like if I glue the jewel on and put the eyes on after I prime the piece, then those pieces will just be attached to the primer and not to the plastic, right? So it might come off, right? And that would, be a waste of all my effort. So make sure that you do all of this part before you prime, and just mask the pieces that you don't want primed. And there you have it. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. See you next time.